Hello, I decided to make this week of USB-C digital tonal converters. I already released the review video for the Beta digital tonal converter, and today we will talk about the Cozoy TAKT-C, and I'll have also yet another device to cover this week, but today we will talk about the Cozoy. Actually, Cozoy TAKT is a pretty famous digital tonal converter. It was one of the first small and portable digital tonal converters released on the market. Its price was a bit above $200, a bit expensive, but it offered really good sound quality and replaceable cable. So it was pretty universal. You could connect it to iPhone, to USB-C device, micro USB device, so virtually every device is present on market. Then Cozoy decided to cut the cost a little bit, and they reduced this version with more affordable price. Now it costs about $110 to $120, and they remove this ability to swap the cable, so basically it's USB-C only now, but vast majority of devices on market now uses this connector, and not surprisingly it was called TAKT-C. So I think it's pretty good deal to reduce price in half, just removing one feature that was pretty rarely used by vast majority of users. So let's have a closer look. Package is simple, it's traditional, but it's done nicely. It's big, made of nice cardboard, looks pretty stylish. On the back side there are technical specifications, so 3.5 TRS connector, 4 layers PCB, so on, so forth, lightweight, screwless, minimalistic design, nice power supply, asynchronous clock design, so on. And specifications: 1.5 volts RMS for 32 ohms load, USB-C, 120 decibels signal noise ratio. Inside you'll have additional card with small manual, so basically about 30 milliwatts for 32 ohms load, and device itself, so no fancy accessories, but actually what you can expect for the USB dongle. In terms of design, you can see it's minimalistic but looks attractive. So USB-C connector, flexible cable about, I don't know, 10 centimeters or so. Nice small device, but bigger than traditional USB-C dongles, but it's pretty logical because it offers better sound. So play pause button and two buttons for the volume control. Usage is absolutely and fairly simple. You connect it to the source, connect headphones, and then just listen to the music. Well, design is stylish. It's not small, but neither it's big, so it's pretty usable and convenient in the everyday usage, especially with smartphone. So pretty straightforward build. And of course about the sound. So I built kind of mini system with it. As in-ear monitors I used Noble Audio Kaiser Core, and as a digital source I will use Lotupo Gold Touch. It's definitely a super overkill to use this DAC as a digital source. So why I am doing that? Because I can. So it was the nearest DAC in my drawer. So, and it's working really good as a digital transport anyway. So while it's working, Cozoy TAKT-C became noticeably warm. Not too hot, but noticeably warm, so probably it's a normal usage for it. I used it for about 2 weeks and it didn't burn out, so the magical blue smoke didn't fly out of this digital tonal converter. So probably a bit of warmth is normal mode for it. In terms of sound, Cozoy managed to achieve pretty mature sound signature, really engaging, really musical, and at the same time detailed. It's not focused on the micro contrast, and it's not too color, too warm. It's, you know, it's like some good mid-level player. It's just balancing between the resolution and musicality. So bass is pretty deep. It goes on almost on the maximum depth, maybe not the absolutely maximum, but pretty deep. It's resolving, it's a bit adding weight, adding a bit of impact, but just slightly adding that. So it's not sounding too accented, too exaggerated. It's just a pretty good level of realism. Really nice textures and so on. Of course, don't expect performance of some high-end player, but for this price, for this size, it's really impressive. Really organic, not trying to be super analytical and dry, and not trying to be super weighty and muddy. It's just clean, precise, with good punch and so on. As an example, for the low frequencies, I've got Metallica Enter Sandman, maybe not absolutely best example, and it would be more logical to use something like Musica Nuda, but I'm always using Musica Nuda, so it's a bit too boring. And Enter Sandman has a nice drum line and a bass line sounding really forward and impressive, and this tiny digital tonal converter represents this rhythm section pretty nicely, giving you the sense of engaging, giving you the sense of good bass drum kicks and all the related things. Mids are probably the best part of this digital tonal converter. They are resolving, clean, engaging, really natural, really well balanced. It's, you know, really mature mids in terms of general signature, nice resolution, but not too analytical, not too thin, good balance of weight, so really full-bodied vocal, really good body of the instruments, and so on. Imaginary stage is about average in width and a bit below average in depth, so it's not the most big and spacious, but at the same time depth layering is really nice and instrument separation is also pretty good. So in terms of three-dimensional positioning and all the related stuff, it's also pretty nice. Maybe it's not super critical for the quality of records, but it requires some proper material to fully shine. It supports DSD, high-res, so won't be any issues with good quality material. But actually, it's not necessary. Main thing is that tracks should be nicely recorded and mastered. So it's better to have something in 44 kHz 16-bit, but with good mastering, than some badly recorded and mastered DSD. And as an example, it's a track that I rarely use as an example. You know, I like Dire Straits too much, and when I'm trying to use it as a material for the critical listening, I simply start enjoying the music, and for me almost everything sounds really good with Dire Straits, so it's just the music that I like. Same applies to Pink Floyd. I like them too much, so don't use it for the critical listening. Anyway, Brothers in Arms is a really complicated track, starting from the intro with some kind of, probably it's thunder at the beginning, vocal, guitar, everything is almost perfect and well recorded, and it requires a good mid resolutions, good level of emotions, and this digital tonal converter gives it almost to maximum level. So usually I make some remarks, so just understand that to fully unveil this track, to show its full potential, you will need to use some more high-end gear, but actually TAKT-C is that gear that you can use to fully enjoy this track with good in-ear monitors. And treble, it's also pretty good, nice resolution, realistic attacks and decays, not focused, not sharp, not too analytical. The only issue probably it's a bit above average extension, so it's just slightly above average, and I'd like it to be a bit better, but we've got what we got, so lacking a bit of upper treble presence. From the other hand, it won't cause issues with something with not perfectly recorded treble, but a bit extension would be a plus. But anyway, treble is clean, clear, really precise with basic layering but good overtone saturation, so pretty impressive results for such a small device. If only it added a bit of extension, it would be totally perfect. And as an example, I've got yet another really complex track. It's John Coltrane, Love Supreme. Probably it's the most famous album of Coltrane. Part 3 starts with some cymbals, with some percussions, and they recorded also really nicely, really realistic, and this digital tonal converter plays this part pretty good. In terms of pairing, it's stated to have only 30 milliwatts for 32 ohms load, but it has plenty of power, and it behaves really nice with in-ear monitors. So it won't drive some power-hungry full-size cans, but with in-ear monitors its power is more than enough to drive almost everything. And for example, with Kaiser & Core, comfortable volume level for me is about 36 or so. So it doesn't require turning volume too high, and turning volume above half of the scale makes sound really loud, and it's going beyond my comfortable level. So just be careful, because sometimes it can deliver enough of power for the in-ear monitors to sound really loudly. And what I also like about it, it's really good at almost every volume level. Many devices require turning volume higher to sound properly. On the low volumes, they sounding bassless, too thin, and on the high volumes, sometimes some devices start clipping or distorting sound. This is not the case. Starting from the lowest volumes to highest, it will give you a nice full-bodied sound at its full potential. Speaking about the compressions, it's more probably it's a step forward comparing with iBasso DC01. It's more musical, more realistic, more lifelike, less focused on the micro detalization. So if you need to hear the tiniest, smallest nuance, DC01 will be an option for you. But this one sounding more natural and more musical, and probably it will be a better choice for many of listeners. And it's a bit closer to DC02 in terms of signature, but it's less V-shaped, but sounding more organic than DC01, and it's more natural comparing with DC02. It's also a noticeable step forward comparing with Meizu Hi-Fi DAC Pro, because it has more body, more weight, and thus sounding more realistic in terms of instruments body and in terms of vocal. And what else devices I've tested, and comparing with TACT Pro, it's a bit less weighty but a bit more resolving. But difference is really small, so basically it's just a TACT Pro but for less price. So it was Cozoy TAKT-C, really good digital tonal converter, and a really good device for those who like to get the best possible sound from smartphone, or to improve the sound of some cheap and expensive players with USB-C support. Nice option to get the best sound if you're okay with using this dongle. Thank you for listening, and have a nice day.